Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Precious Metal Summit here in Europe. And with me here is now Eskay Mining and a very famous geologist, Dr. Quinton Hennigh, the director and also technical advisor to the company. Well, welcome and good morning, Quinton. How are you?
Very good, Jochen. Looking forward to this.
Super, perfect. Me too. Eskay Mining, you have a very prominent name because it reminds me on the Eskay Creek mine here what Skina is having, and you are neighbors, right? And so from that side, maybe you can describe shortly the company a little bit and give us an insight.
Okay, look, the Eskay Mining has a pretty key asset in the middle of the Golden Triangle. We have about 526 square kilometers of highly prospective ground for further Eskay Creek type discovery. Eskay Creek, very high grade, precious metal rich VMS, volcanogenic massive sulfide deposit. And I would say 85% of the prospective ground in the Eskay Graben, the actual geologic feature that hosts these things, is actually on Eskay Mining's ground. So we have the lion's share of the prospective ground. We've also got some very exciting results to demonstrate. We have what is probably going to be a future discovery of this type of mineralization.
Okay, super. I saw that you guys have drilled 4,355 meters so far, and I think you had some very good results in September and also in October. Please elaborate on that.
Yeah, look, right now we have assays for just one drill hole. We started drilling, I believe, in late August. We managed to get about 7.5 weeks in before the season ended in mid-October. As you said, we got about 4,350 meters, somewhere in that neighborhood, completed in 20 holes, so roughly 200 meters a hole. What was really interesting, we focused all our effort at the TB and Jeff targets. The TB and Jeff areas, for various reasons, really came to the forefront as far as targets for us. We started to find massive sulfide outcrops in the field. We started to see geophysically a very, very compelling target in hand. Okay, so we drilled roughly 10 holes in each location. At TV, the first hole slammed into massive sulfide. We had 11 meters of about 1.2 gram gold and about 210 grams silver. Not super high grade, but to hit that on the first hole, really good outcome. We then drilled a further 9 holes around that hole. And I think that those holes, once they come back from the lab, we'll see improved results beyond that. I think we have a couple that might have some pretty good grades in them, quite frankly. And then it gets better. Okay, so after we drilled at TV, we moved northward a couple of kilometers to this area called Jeff, this other target. And it's on strike, and it's really part of the same system. There's no question it's the same system. But we started drilling at Jeff. We started low in the stratigraphy, and we worked our way up the hill over the course of about 3.5 weeks. And we, at the very end of the program, we had a pad, and literally when the drill bit went into the ground in the 3 holes that came off this pad, we had phenomenal sulfides, beautiful stockwork. In several of those places, there was parargyrite, a silver-rich mineral. There was electrum, a gold-silver alloy. So I think that those holes, once they come back from the lab, we're prepared for hopefully some very good news. You can never put anything in the bank until you get the assays back. But I'd say right now we're feeling very upbeat about this. But what's more, now we're thinking about next year's program. Okay, we know we're on to something. We need to move forward.
Okay, super. Before we come to next year, when do you think the next drill results are out? Because we know the lab turnaround times have enlarged a lot, right?
They have. The lab capacities have, contracted quite a bit, and both because there was a downturn in the gold space for 8 years now, but then also COVID has kind of caused a lot of problems. But I would say that we've prioritized our sulfide intervals to try to get those through the lab first. I would say in our case, probably in the next 4 to 6 weeks, we should have the key assays back. Not all of them, but the key assays from certain areas. Now, what does that mean? It means that by maybe early to mid-December, we will have 1 or 2 announcements that talk about these high-grade results.
Okay. Super. Before we come to the joint venture with Kirkland Lake, you said 2021 is now really the key to focus on. So what is the plan for 2021 there?
We've already started laying out plans. What we would like to do, what I would like to do, and I'm telling everybody this is what we're going to do, is drill with 4 rigs. Okay, I want to see 4 rigs operating on this project. This project has suffered from a lack of focused attention. Okay, I don't want that to happen this time. We're not going to screw around here. I want 1 rig doing systematic step-out drilling around this new mineralization that we've hit at Jeff. I want to do, say, 30-meter centers on a routine basis. Then I want to step over to, I want a second rig at TV, so another rig doing systematic step-out drilling at the TV prospect. I want a third rig. I wish I could show you on the screen, but I want a third rig testing the multitude of targets that we have in that immediate vicinity. We've got probably 5 or 6 high-quality targets we could walk up and drill tomorrow. My hunch is, given that they're very similar to TV and Jeff in their geophysical expression, I think we'll see yet further discovery from those. Then I want a 4th rig. I want that 4th rig to drill up at Sib Lulu. I want to test the targets that we've developed at depth under there. And then late in the season, that rig, I want to go down to the Tet discovery, which is where we have some wonderful mineralization. Say stockwork, we'll call it mineralization, extremely high in silver, running over 1% silver in places. Okay, so I want to have 4 rigs on site operating from mid-June until mid-October next year. In that time period, we should be able to accomplish 30,000 meters. We're going to need a robust budget, but that's what it needs. You need in a program like this, especially when you're at discovery phase. We're going to hit this hard. Yes, Kirkland Lake will have to contribute their 20% if they don't want to dilute. So there will be a contribution of funding from there. But bear in mind, about half of the property is joint venture and half of it is 100% owned. So we'll probably be splitting those costs, pro rata across that property boundary. All right, but it's an exciting time when you have a discovery like this. There's nothing more fun than to chase it to its inevitable outcome, like true discovery.
Yeah, absolutely. So what is the plan then with the joint venture with Kirkland Lake, longer term? What do you think?
Look, we've had several updates with them over the past few months as we've done this. This is a funny year because COVID, back in April, wow, we didn't even think we would get in the field. And then we managed to put the funding together and get out there. So we've always been kind of behind the 8 ball, but we've tried to keep Kirkland up to date as much as possible. They are now fully appraised of the work we've done and basically the cost of this year's program, which is a little over $4 million. What's the plan for it? Well, as I understand it, we haven't been told otherwise. I think Kirkland's looking to contribute their 20%. If we're on a discovery, you got a mining company right there who's obviously going to take a pretty serious interest. Not only that, but you got to look at the bigger playing field here. Okay, you got Skeena immediately to our north. As much as they're doing a great job. Paul Geddes is a bloody fantastic geo, and he's doing a great job up there. But territory-wise, Eskay Mining has the grounds. We got the goods. We got the rest of the ground where this stuff is going to be found. So I think combined, you got to look at that big playing field and say, yeah, somebody might come in and take over the whole lot at some point.
Exactly. That was exactly my thinking when I prepared for this interview here. I saw also you had an accelerating course here in your options, and also I saw that you have like over 15.4 million warrants at 47.5 cents, and still there are, I don't know, probably 9 or 10 million options still left. So if they are exercised, let's say even more fast, that would mean that you guys get easily like between $8 to $10 million in the bank. And that would be very healthy, right?
That will definitely be a means of financing this next field campaign. There's no question. And yes, I would say that by year end, after we get these assays out, there's a likelihood of that. But we will still need to raise a bit more money to make sure that the next year's program is covered. 30,000 meters is going to cost around 15 million Canadian. A lot of that could be flow through, obviously, because we're Canadian focused. All right, but I would say that the warrants, we accelerated some here recently. That brought in, I believe, around $600,000. The remaining warrants will probably accelerate some of those here shortly once we get assays out. At that point, we'll see where we land cash-wise. If we might have to raise 10 million additional, something like that, flow through. But I want to make really clear to people, we're going to be as aggressive as possible next year. I don't want to screw around. I want to see this thing turn into a discovery by the end of the field season next year.
Fantastic. That's a great final sentence. Super. Quinton, thank you very much for the interview. And really, I keep fingers crossed because I'm pretty sure your neighbors need your ground when you make a big discovery.
Thanks, Jochen.
Thank you very much. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that was Dr. Quinton Hennigh from Eskay Mining, and you heard it. The drills are turning and results are coming out before Christmas, but he wants to hit it hard next year with 30,000 meters of drilling. And they are, I would call it an elephant territory with fantastic neighbors like Skeena, like Kirkland Lake. They have a joint venture with Kirkland Lake. And that's exactly what you want. World-class team, world-class geologists like Quinton. And from that side, you really should check out the company. That looks very, very promising. And he wants to have his big discovery by the end of the field season next year already. That's not that far away. So I have a very good feeling for that company. Thanks for watching us, and bye-bye from Switzerland.